What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Talk YouTube channel, and I am back to do my WWE 2019 Survivor Series review. So this happened last night on Survivor Series. I didn't watch the pre-show because um, I just went to the main show and stuff like that, and they started off the show with brackets and stuff like that, where they would have Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I'll talk about the show, how I thought about it in the end. And going into the show, I didn't think that it was going to top Takeover because think about it, Takeover was so well done and so great that going into it, you couldn't top that because how good it was and how the match quality was good, and you could feel that maybe some of the crowd at Survivor Series tonight was maybe very like burnt out from the night before because some of those guys were there the night before and they were burnt out and stuff like that. And every time there's a takeover, the WWE always seems to struggle to actually put on a good show. But overall, I think they did a good way. I will say it was a good show what they did. I'm not going to complain and say that yeah, the main event was a bit lackluster and maybe the Adam Cole and I think it was Pete Dunne match was a bit bland. But overall, apart from the crowd like being not interested in those matches, it was a pretty good match. So we start off with the NXT women versus the Raw women versus SmackDown women. I'm not gonna go through the eliminations here because it would just take me forever. So I'm just gonna say the key points of the match. First off, the suicide dive with the NXT girls and the SmackDown girls. Um, Candice LeRae and Shirai get Kayfabe will get injured, so they're taking at the match at this point. Nikki Cross gets eliminated first. She was the first one to get eliminated. Then we have a stare down with before that we have a Io Shirai and Asuka Kairi Sane stare down, which I thought was a real good thing. Asuka turns on Charlotte, so she gets eliminated with the green mist. And then we get to the final three. It's Natalia, Rhea Ripley, and the NXT girls come back, which is Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae. They come back and obviously Natalia, obviously in storyline, she's like, oh yeah, like why in storyline Natalia would you trust Sasha Banks when she actually stabbed you in the back when she returned a couple months back? In storyline, why would you do that? And you know, tonight she was like, "Oh yeah, let's take down these NXT girls," and then Sasha's like, "No, screw that. We're gonna take down you first." So why, Natalia, in storyline, would you actually agree to that? Because she actually beat you up and ambush you a few months ago when she came back. So why would you in storyline want to align with her? I just didn't like some of the story stuff in this match. I didn't get like the storyline. Like, I know they're on different brands now, but come on, it's kayfabe, and you're supposed to keep kayfabe alive technically, and I don't know. But yeah, the NXT girls get the win. Rhea Ripley is one. I'm really excited for Rhea Ripley. I think that she's going to be a big star in the main roster, in my opinion. I'm a fan of kind of sort of Lorray, fucking was kind of Lorray, and Io Shirai. Sorry for botching her name. I'm a fan of her too as well. Then we get Adam Cole versus um, Pete Dunne. I thought it was a good match. But the crowd was like shitting over it. They didn't care about it. They was getting into it for a bit. Adam Cole and I just think Adam Cole is one of the most underrated workers in my opinion. I know people say, "Oh my God, he came from Ring of Honor, like he's just a mark." Like the thing is, Adam Cole, in my opinion, is one of the best heels outside of the main roster. Like his promos are good. He's a good heel, and I know Smart's like him, but the thing is, he's a good character and he's got a bright future. I think that on the main roster, if he's booked properly, now I say this all the time, if he's booked well, any guy or girl, they can elevate themselves if they've got the skills. But with Vince McMahon, God damn it, you just don't know where it's gonna go. Maybe one week he's high on this guy, like and the next week he's gonna like an EC3. You barely see him on television. I know he's injured right now, but he's never getting used though. Yeah, but Adam Cole gets the win and retains his title. Then we get and they also said that Mauro Ronaldo and lost his voice, which basically means that yesterday, well Saturday, because I'm going to on Monday, that Mauro Ronaldo was actually Corey Graves was was responding to Mauro Ranallo saying that he's too overhyped for these matches and stuff like that, and stuff like that. He was going back and forth with Corey Graves. Well, Corey Graves was like bashing him on Twitter, and basically Mauro Ranallo, obviously he has mental health, and obviously he couldn't handle it. And I understand that people saying, oh, he should man up and stuff like that. Yeah, but at some point, if it's getting toxic and bad, and men like if his mental health is that bad that he cannot get out of the house, then you know he maybe should have to leave WWE. And you know some of it, Corey Graves, it's like this whole be be a bully, be a star thing. Like it's bullshit. Like if you want to do that, WWE actually get rid of the bullying backstage. Look at JBL. Look at the likes of Corey Graves, and you're still doing the bullying thing. But stuff like that, and people like Meltzer roasting him on Twitter, and he's getting butthurt because Meltzer did a story on him, but he was the one that actually got butthurt over Mauro Ranallo, so he was like airing his dirty laundry on Twitter. So really, and this is why I say that the wrestlers are the biggest marks, because they just cannot take criticism. They have so much thin skin. Example, Jim Cornette this past week blocking people, and Seth Rollins is another guy. They're just fucking dicks in the wrestling business. Now I'm not saying every wrestler and is a dick, but all of them, most of them on Twitter are just biggest marks. Just are you that concerned that people, when they critique you and criticize you fairly, you have to block them and you have to say that stuff like that? Like you have to say, oh, that you're sitting in your bedroom or you're sitting wherever doing a video. I mean, we don't all have studios nowadays, but we're trying to make a video. So yeah. Anyway, that's left me ramble with Corey Graves. Then we have the Fiend versus Bray Wyatt. This was a good match. I really enjoyed the Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan matches. I think that they have really good chemistry together, and I just really enjoyed it. So that the first match they had together in like 5 years. So really good match here. I know a lot of people online and a couple of my friends were saying that the lighting is bad. The lighting, yeah, it's not the best, but I think that suits the Fiend's character better. So I think it's okay, but I think that too much red, maybe you can lower down the lights on the red. But overall, it was a good match. The Fiend wins with the mandible claw and gets the win. And then we have the men's 5-on-5 match. We have NXT, SmackDown, Raw, and obviously the SmackDown team cannot get along. The Raw team did get along for a bit, and I think they caused a bit of tension. SmackDown, we got Baron Corbin, and you've got Baron Corbin, and you've got Roman Reigns going at it, and you've got Shorty G going at it with fucking Mustafa Ali. Like they're all basically in cohesion, and Randy Orton gets eliminated by Matt Riddle, and then more eliminations happened, and then the final three was Seth Rollins, Keith Lee, and Roman Reigns. Keith Lee had a great showing in this match. Bask in his glory. But I'm a big fan of Keith Lee, and I know that I heard some rumors today he may go on the main roster. I hope not, because I want to see him stay on NXT a bit longer, maybe win the NXT title, because when they get on the main roster, they don't know what they're doing with the other guys they just called up recently, and they're just gonna call up Keith Lee and do nothing with him as well. I don't know, but yeah, they had a good match. So Seth Rollins gets eliminated by Keith Lee. Then Roman Reigns and Keith Lee have a good one-on-one kind of match. Keith Lee gets speared by Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns gets the win for SmackDown, and he's the sole survivor. Then we have the triple threat match it's Roderick Strong, Shinsuke Nakamura, and AJ Styles. This was a good match as well. I thought this was a real good fun match. Roderick Strong gets the win here because AJ did the forearm on Nakamura. Then he throws AJ out the ring, and then he picks up the pin. Then the main event of the night was NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler versus Women's Champion for Raw Becky and Women's Champion for SmackDown Bayley. The match was a bit lackluster. I think that at that point the crowd was like too burnt out from especially like I said earlier, from the Takeover show, and especially the women's 5-on-5 match and the men's 5-on-5 match, and also that triple threat match I just mentioned. Like those matches together were really good, and the Adam Cole match was good as well. So I think after that they just want to end the show, so that happened. and Shayna Baszler gets the win over Bailey. I think she tapped out, and then obviously she stands on the announce table. Shayna Baszler stands on the announce table. Then um, Becky gets up, and then she just powerbomb. Well, she just does a leg drop onto the announce table, and that's how Survivor Series ended. I've seen a couple of things were gonna happen on Raw tonight, like Asuka versus Charlotte. So it looks like at WrestleMania, it looks like the match is gonna be Shayna Baszler versus Becky at WrestleMania. But overall, what do you guys think of Survivor Series 2019? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and check you guys later.